And so these guys are picking right up where they left off. I mean, these are the best guys in the world.
But maybe that's why Brett Metcalf is kind of on his own level right now, because he's comfortable. He's on a bike he's familiar with, so maybe that's going to come into play.
Ooh, that would be huge. Brett is so due for a win here in Supercross.
Yep.
Brayton moving over to the Team Honda Muscle Milk organization, the Factory Honda squad.
Yeah. I like this guy, man. He hasn't had anything given to him. He's worked for everything he has, and I like that about him. He's a hard worker, got a great head on his shoulders, and I'm proud for everything that he does and accomplishes.
Yeah, he's got a little pressure, though. Well, looks like Metcalf has a little pressure coming up.
Yeah, he does.
Metcalf continuing to lead here, but they are closing in from second and third. Tomac in second. And what a run it could be for him if he could get a second in this. He could right into the mains. Boy, what a shot of confidence. Now, we've talked about how this is reminiscent of the Paris style and the uphill section at the old stadium in Detroit. But you know what? Tonight, I think we're going to call that Monster Mountain.
It's very fitting.
That's good.
Yeah, but see, Ricky, you know, Tomac's going to get aggressive here. Dungey's going to get aggressive, but there is barely a racing line that's grooved in right now. You move out of that line, and it is really greasy. Look right there. They're trying to just get inside the tough blocks when they go wide. They're just not getting the grip at this point of the track.
Yeah, but by tonight, when all the heat races have cycled through and all the other events that we have on the track tonight, it'll get those inside grooves worked in, and you'll see a couple guys wanting to be creative and making things happen when they need to.
You put the $1 million on the line, you're going to get very creative.
I know one thing. If it comes down to the last race, and I'm racing, and the guy in front of me is going to have a chance to win it, I'm putting him in the cheap seats, because if I can't win it, no one can.
Okay, now we do have a supplemental rules package for this event, which is very special, unique for this, but all other, you know, rules and regulations in the AMA, so if you have some rough riding, you may get fined, but if you win that $1 million, I'm not sure it's not going to be be a problem at that point.
The gloves are off for $1 million.
Yes.
If you can't win, wreck someone that can. That's all I'm saying right there.
I love
That's
it.
a great approach, Ricky.
Thank you, Ron.
Not that you've ever played by that, have you?
If you can't win, wreck someone that can.
I like that. Write that one down, bro. That's a good one.
That's the mentality for half these guys out here, guaranteed. It's that's why it's so exciting. You can see how epic this heat race is right now. We got three guys, one mistake, boom.
And it's
the
really
other thing,
equal.
The other thing, too, is a guy like Metcalf, this is a great opportunity to make a name for yourself going into the start of the Monster Energy Supercross season. What a huge amount of momentum he could carry with him throughout the offseason here.
He probably has, he probably feels like he has unfinished business from the last race he was here.
I think you're right. Well, Aaron, so many people have come out here to Sam Boyd Stadium tonight to watch this incredible piece of history being made.
That's right, Ralph. Brock Tickle is taking a look, watching, observing right now. Brock, what are your thoughts as you're lined up for your heat race, ready to go?
Yeah, you know, it looks like most of the race is from here to the first turn, so hopefully I can get that done and get out front and put a good show on for everybody.
Qualified fifth this afternoon, looking to take home that $1 million tonight.
Aaron, we just saw how one simple little mistake can make such a huge change here at the Monster Energy Cup.
Yeah, right there. Dungey makes the move on Tomac, and it's okay. Kind of get the heart rate down. You get some time on this new bike, and now you're kind of starting to settle in. Dungey's going, wait a second. Okay, this thing's hooking up. I need to go for the win.
You can see Dungey looking back there. He made a little mistake out of that corner. Kind of bike stood up on him, didn't want to keep turning, and he thought Tomac was right there on the inside, but he had a little lead on him.
Yeah, and for Ryan Dungey, I mean, this is a completely different bike. I mean, it's not just switching from yellow to orange. I mean, this is going from an aluminum chassis on the Suzukis that he's always ridden. Now he's riding a steel chassis here on this KTM, and it's completely different. It's made in a completely different part of the world by an Austrian manufacturer. But they have big hopes for this team, and they chose a rider like Ryan Dungey because he's so consistently great.
Yeah, and you know one thing that's in his mind, that is his bike from last year in the lead, and I can assure you he probably wants to win on that new machine.
Yeah, you had a couple of scenarios in your career where you went from one team to another, and that was some motivation, yeah?
Absolutely. I think that's you always want to think that you've bettered yourself. So when you see the guy on your bike from the previous year winning, it's like, come on, man.
Well, and I mean, Metcalf came from that Geico Honda before he came up to Suzuki, but it looks like everything is working great. I mean, he is fit. He's very mentally tough, and right now this is the most focused, right, and consistent that I've ever seen him ride Supercross. And I think that Tickle was right. It's going to take the start here because this track has really equalized everyone, especially with all the moisture that's in it now.
Yeah. Well, and coming up for those 3 main events, that's going to be a huge advantage for Brett Metcalf because he's going to get a good gate pick if he can hold on and win this heat.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we talked about earlier in the heat race. That was all about. You can see Dungey.
Yeah, he's putting it down, and they finally have got down into the 129s, which I believe the fastest qualifier is about 128. So
working away on the final lap here. Can Dungey do anything? Can he take a shot at Metcalf? Handful of corners to go. Oh! Bit of a bobble by Metcalf, and there's Dungey. And that's all it took.
Here's the last turn. Is he going to...
Dungey takes him up high. And Ryan Dungey gets his first win in his first race on his brand new KTM 450, and it's a big one because it sets him up perfectly to get a great gate pick for tonight's Monster Million shot.
And I'll take the other side of the coin on that for Metcalf. Oh, he makes one mistake. He was perfect all moto until then. Wow.
Well, one of the guys that is going to keep a lot of eyes on Ryan Dungey and everything he does tonight is Ryan Villapoto, who's standing by with Aaron.
Your reigning Supercross and Motocross champion, Ryan Villapoto, qualified first today. Ryan, you're lined up on the gate. There's a mixture of both elements on this track tonight. How deep are you going to have to dig to pull this one off?
It's going to be tough, just there's 3 races, 3 10-lap races, and, start's going to be everything, but, we'll see how it goes, and, the track's kind of tough. It's a little rocky out on the outside of the stadium. Inside, it's tight. So, one line and, a start, like I said, is going to be key.
You just saw Ryan Dungey for the first time racing on that KTM. What are your thoughts?
He looks good. I think KTM's making a big push, and I think with one of the best riders on it, I think they should make a lot of progress, and he'll be up there where he was last year.
Best of luck to you on your heat race.
Here's how it happened, Ricky.
Yeah, you can see right there. He lands wanting to accelerate, knowing that Ryan Dungey was hot on his heels. And you can see right here, he just couldn't get quite the drive out to get the guy.
So here's the results. Top 4 transfer straight. So Dungey, Metcalf, Tomac, and Braden will go. Everybody else will go on to the semis. And one of those riders in there is going to be, of course, Kevin Windham, who struggled with that crash in the opening corner.
We all know what last chances are like. We've seen a bunch of them this weekend, or this past year.
Well, we're just getting things underway here at the Monster Energy Cup. Stay with us. There's a Monster Million up for grabs.
You're watching the Monster Energy Cup live on Speed.
Back here to Sam Boyd Stadium. Crowd settling in. Just the first heat race of the night in the books. Plenty more racing action yet to go here. Don't forget, we got a poll question for you tonight. Which rider do you think has the best shot at that Monster Million? Is it Ryan Villapoto, Wyndham Tickle, Michael Essie, or maybe somebody else like Brett Metcalf possibly?
I think the 5 and the other might be the signal there.
All right, we'll go to speed.com. Go to speed.com, let us know what you think, and we'll give you an update later on what everybody's thinking. Heat 2's already in the gate, and you see the number 2. That's going to change to a number 1 when we head to Anaheim and kick off the Monster Energy Supercross season. Well, one thing the 3 of us up here in the booth can be accused of is some dumb things on wheels. And don't forget, here on Speed, we've got a pretty good show. Brings all that to you Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. Dumbest stuff on wheels. We have an all-new episode for you coming up this Wednesday. Don't act like you've never done anything.
My favorite 30 minutes of television every week.
Speak for yourself.
You could be starring on that show weekly if you wanted to.
Yeah. We should do a Carmichael special.
Yeah.
We could do it all.
I remember a boat in Dallas that was pretty good for that.
You can see Villapoto here. He's taking the inside. And Jeff, I was looking at that inside there. That's almost extreme inside.
Yeah, because if you get out the gate about 30 or 40 feet, and you run out of straight line.
Right.
So the straight line is actually about 3 or 4 gates out.
Yeah, like maybe where Tickle is there. You guys can see the number 20 of Brock
Freeze.
Tickle. Yeah.
He's got Freezy right next to him.
On the 45.
Yeah. I think where Tickle is probably the premier spot.
Four more riders coming out of this one. Don't forget, Michael Lessie took that big spill at